off.
What? Switch to U.S. Cellular and get $700 off the latest phones. U.S. Cellular. Choose fair.
Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line, port-in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month retail installment contract. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and its outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Hey, this is Chef Dave Finelli. Have you got $60 extra a week or you just got $60 a week? I can feed you dinner 6 nights a week for total $60. Maybe you haven't heard about this, my Heart Healthy Home Meals. I give you 6 meals a week. You pick them up at Pops. It's $60 a week. I guarantee you go out to eat one time, you spend more than $60. I guarantee you, if you go to the grocery store one time, you spend more than $60. And then you still got to tip, and then you still got to cook and prep and worry. Forget all that. I got you. $60 a week. Let me know. I'm right there at Pops. You know how to reach me.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, West, Allen, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagelin, and by Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into our show. We are getting closer and closer to game week at East Carolina. It's kind of be a game week for the Pirates as they try to get ready for UCF this week and next week. But the Pirates, of course, don't start for a couple of weeks. Joining us today via the telephone from his office at East Carolina is Blake Harrell. He is the defensive coordinator, inside linebackers coach, and he'll be with us for the hour today. Coach, first of all, thanks for joining us today. It's getting close, isn't it?
Yeah, Brian, appreciate you having me on. Finally some light at the end of the tunnel, so we're excited about getting in game mode.
How hard has this been for you, especially as a coordinator? And I know, when you're putting something new in and the way you had to have meetings via Zoom and Microsoft Teams and everything that goes on with all of that, how difficult has this been for you?
Well, 2020 for all of us has been a little different, a little crazy at times, but control what you control. I think our players and our staff have done a really, really great job of handling it and moving forward with it and making the best of it, whether it be Zoom meetings, the way we have to practice, the way we have to do our team meetings. They've done a really nice job and in good spirits and in good places, and I'm really proud of the way they've handled it in the development we've had.
One of our sponsors here on the Brian Bailey Show is Bojangles, and they have a commercial out right now with their sausage biscuits, and it talks about how you look back and you'll say, hey, in 2020, you get 2 sausage biscuits for $2.50. In 2020 must have been a great year. Then you go, maybe not so much, and that's pretty much what it is, isn't it? Not so much as far as 2020 goes.
Well, we're hoping the best is ahead. We can't deal with yesterday, but we can make an impact tomorrow and hopefully next Saturday when we take on UCF. So we hope the best of 2020 lies ahead of us this fall.
I was talking with Coach Houston last week, I think it was. It may have been 2 weeks ago. And he said, how about that for Coach Harrell? He comes to town, and his first game is against nationally ranked UCF and trying to stop that offense. And I thought to myself, yeah, that's a difficult assignment. And it is going to be a difficult assignment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely not the one you would probably pick to start out with. You thought it would be game 4, and all of a sudden it's going to be game 1. And they are very explosive. A tempo team that goes extremely fast. We call it warp speed. So we obviously got to be able to handle the tempo that they play with. And, they've certainly been pretty impressive, putting up, a bunch of points per game the last couple of years and a bunch of yards per game. And they have some playmakers almost at every position on the field. So certainly a challenge, but, if that's what our kids are up to it, and that, if you want to go play the game, go play the best. And that's what we're excited about doing. So it's a challenge, and I think we'll be ready for it.
If you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best. That's how the saying goes, right, Coach?
That's correct.
That's exactly right. Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, is our guest. We'll take our first commercial break. We've cranked up the Facebook Live. If you got a question or comment for Coach Harrell, we'll send that thing along to him as well. This is the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday, and we're back with more after this.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
Bostic Sugg Furniture wants to know, how'd you sleep last night? If you're like thousands, the answer is probably not very well. You're tired, stressed, your job suffers, and worse, your health suffers. Get better sleep on a Restonic mattress, a Consumer's Digest Award winner 13 years running. Restonic Queen mattresses start as low as $4.99. Restonic two-sided Queen mattresses from only $6.99. If you're ready to wake up to a whole new you, we have a Restonic mattress waiting for you, exclusively at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft, and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's menu has grown again with the all-new grilled buffalo chicken papadilla. The papadillas are part sandwich, part pizza, and are only $6. Choose from the all-new grilled buffalo chicken, Philly cheesesteak, Italian, pepperoni meatball, and barbecue chicken and bacon, all for only $6 each. Also, for a limited time, get any large 5-topping pizza for only $13.99. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
Let us help you get back to business.
This is Donald Stocks
and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that, plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting-edge, contactless, touchless marketing or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
Oktoberfest is coming to Winterville this Saturday, September 19th. Naughty Dog Brewing Company and Local Oak Brewing Company are teaming up for a fun day of cold beer, food trucks, costume contests, Oktoberfest games like Hammerschlagen, a mug relay, and more. The fun starts at noon and goes until 11 p.m. with plenty of room indoors and outdoors for everyone. Both Naughty Dog and Local Oak will be releasing 2 new beers each that day. Oktoberfest this Saturday, noon to 11 p.m. at Naughty Dog and Local Oak, Winterville.
Pirate Radio.
We are not coming together to just be average. We want to build a program that will year in and year out compete for the American Athletic Conference Championship and compete nationally against any and everybody.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday afternoon. Good to be with you and good to be closer and closer to a Pirate football game. Still got a little over a week and a half to go, but we're talking about a certain team. We're talking about the opener. We're talking about, getting started. We're not talking about COVID-19. We're not talking about testing. We're not talking about that kind of thing, at least right now. Although the testing does continue, and it's very much a part of what East Carolina is going through right now. Once again, we've got the Facebook Live cranked up. If you've got a question or comment you'd like to get across to Blake Harrell, the defensive coordinator, inside linebacker coach at East Carolina, feel free to jot it down. Our good friend Pirate Al has asked a question. He wants to know how many defensive linemen you're going to try to rotate in, Coach Harrell.
That's something we talk about daily. Just kind of had a conversation yesterday, another conversation this morning, just about our personnel, our depth charts, just kind of where we are, who would be on a travel roster, so to speak, getting ready to exchange scout teams, those type of things. But, we're going to play at least 6 guys in the tier league between the 2 tackles, nose guard, D tackle. And then at the 2 ends, you're probably looking at playing 6 guys there. So within the front 4, you could possibly see 12 different bodies rolling in, rolling out. And, I think early in the season, that's very important, especially having the type of off-season that we did, just didn't get as much time in the weight room or as much time on Big John. So the conditioning factor may not be up to par where it was most years. So you want to roll some bodies in there. And then a tempo team like UCF, you definitely want to roll in fresh bodies and give yourself a chance to play in the fourth quarter and compete and keep it close in the fourth quarter so you can go win the ball game. So that's kind of the philosophy there, just, rolling bodies in, keep them fresh. And a fresh guy, whether he may be your 2 or 3 on your depth chart, is better than a tired number 1. So that's kind of the thinking there. And Coach Tesh and Coach Sweetman doing a great job of preparing those guys and getting them ready to play and getting ready to take meaningful snaps.
When you look at everything you guys have had to go through with the starts and the stops and not having the spring football and not being able to work out as a team, and even your workouts now are so different than they used to be, does that mean you have to prepare more players? You have to play more people because you're going to see a situation where you're just going to need bodies out there?
Well, one thing we've talked about from the get-go is it's going to take everybody to get this thing done. That's everybody on the same page, everybody pulling the weight. It's because at some point it's going to be next man up. And Coach Houston done a great job of just preparing our kids the way we practice, making sure everybody gets meaningful reps, meaningful snaps. And sometimes that's been like 2 different practices going on where you got a field 1 and field 2 and 2 different sets of drills going on, 2 different sets of team reps going on. So even our guys that may be 4th or 5th on the depth chart are getting meaningful snaps, and they know the scheme, both offensively, defensively, and special teams. So then you never know. Like you said, with COVID, you may look up one week and you're missing a guy, and all of a sudden your number 3 becomes your number 2, and he's in a ball game playing at a meaningful time and a meaningful snap. So it's always been important to build your depth, but probably more so this year.
Another question on the Facebook Live feed asking about Keziah Everett. How's he coming along?
Keziah is one of the, he's always got a smile on his face. He's always great to have around, been in the meeting rooms. He's always the guy that kind of brings the energy and the juice. I call it the juice into our meetings and side of the ball, and he's doing a nice job developing and just love where he's going and the direction he's going in. Look for him to do some big things this year.
Coach, you were hired on January 29th, 2020, so the year had just started. When did you first hear about COVID-19 and the coronavirus, and when did you realize that this is going to be a much, much different year to come?
I think probably like most of us, you heard about it early March, late February there before we went home for spring break, but you really didn't, it was distant, it was far away. It was across the sea, and you didn't really think a whole lot about it. You didn't think, something that far away could affect you and affect your world. And then all of a sudden, when the NBA thing hit, we were on spring break there. That's when you thought, well, okay, this may go on for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then the more it went on, you're like, oh, well, where it might be a couple months. And then all of a sudden you realize, hey, a pandemic doesn't go away overnight. It lasts for a little while. So, I think that's kind of probably the way it was with most people. At first, we didn't realize what we're really getting ourselves into. Then, kind of the more the longer it lasted, I realized, kind of came to realize it's going to last a little bit longer than we expected. But as I said before, you kind of deal with it, roll with it, it's next snap, play the next play, control what you control, and let's get ready for the next down.
Got another question for you from the Facebook feed. Josh Thomas writing in wants to know who some of the standouts on the defensive line are so far.
You know, we've had a bunch of guys. Like, the good thing about playing several guys up front, you get a chance to evaluate a bunch of different bodies. You know, some of the younger kids that have done a really nice job and stood out and impressed is, you know, Elijah Morris, a kid from Fayetteville. Jason Romero on the edge has done a nice job. Xavier McGyver, a big body inside, has done a nice job. And then obviously some of your older kids that have been there. You know, Chris Willis is an older kid. He's a grad transfer from App State, but he's impressed. D'Angelo McKinney, Hosey, Rick LeBrew, all those guys inside have done nice jobs, and Demir Faison on the edge. So, you know, those guys that I've mentioned, I'm sure I probably left somebody out, have definitely caught the eye and definitely impressed. And we've got a slew of younger kids inside that you can look at and say, hey, one day when these kids develop, get a couple years in the weight room, they're going to be really, really good players for East Carolina and the Pirates.
Coach, let's go through the scrimmages quickly. Let's go through scrimmage number 1, which was dominated by your defense. First of all, were you surprised that you were able to pretty much dominate that first scrimmage, or is defense usually ahead of offense?
Well, scrimmage 1 seems like so long ago.
Yeah, I know. It was last year.
It's crazy. I mean, we've been at this thing. I think we started OTAs back in mid-July and practiced July 29th. Got a couple of scrimmages in before the pause. But scrimmage 1, you know, usually your defense is ahead of your offense. Our offense is so you know, they have a bunch of weapons over there, so powerful, and had, you know, performed really well last year. And they're on year 2 of a scheme where we were on year 1. So I was a little caught off guard and surprised about how our kids performed. But at the same time, it's all about, you know, we tell our kids it's all about what we do, or how we do things, not what we do. So it's about our energy and our effort and our execution, not necessarily the scheme. So the kids did a really nice job in embracing that early on, and really went out and gave great effort and played with great energy. So that was good to see in scrimmage 1.
And then scrimmage 2 was before the 12-day shutdown, and scrimmage 2, the offense pretty much bounced back. But Coach Houston was saying that there was a lot of chirping going on back and forth.
Well, the best thing is our kids go compete. You know, whether it's a scrimmage, whether it's a drill, whatever it may be, our kids go out and compete. So competition is everything to those guys, and you love that about them. But yeah, that's, you know, whether it's fall camp, spring ball, it always seems, and for every year I've been a part of it, whoever gets the best of you know, offense or defense, whoever gets the best that day, it seems like the next time out, the other side of the ball gets the best. It's kind of got a little bit more of a sense of urgency, so to speak. But it was good just to, you know, be competitive and be out there on the grass and having those kids go at it and see them battle a little bit. And sometimes, you know, a little bit of failure and seeing the other side of the be successful makes the defense better. That was good.
I remember that week. It was right before the third scrimmage was scheduled, I think, for that Friday. And I think it was that Thursday when the shutdown came, and the numbers were where they didn't need to be. So you guys had to shut down operations for 12 days. And, you know, then you had to get back together and get back in the swing of things, and then try to get scrimmage number 3. And scrimmage number 3 had highlights from both sides, didn't it?
It did. It was good. It was, you know, we took a few days there just to kind of get back in the swing of things, and then week 2 we kind of got ramped things up a little bit more competitive, and, you know, just getting our guys back in where they can go play a ball game and go compete to win a ball game was really nice to see, and get back to that level where, you know, we're at game speed, and we got guys that, you know, stood out on both sides of the ball, and guys did some nice things. But the big thing you saw is just the level of competition is where it needs to be for a game.
Another question from our Facebook Live segment says, how good can Jaquan McMillan be? How good is he?
Jaquan, we call him J-Mac. He's had a really nice fall camp, done some good things. He's great to have in the room and on the side of the ball, and you can always count on 21 to be where he's supposed to be, doing the things he's supposed to be doing. Had a great year last year, and just hoping he follows it up with a great sophomore year. So I think we can expect 21 do some good things for the Pirates, not only this year but in the years to come. So excited about his growth and development.
Defensive coordinator Blake Harrell, our guest today on the Brian Bailey Show. We'll take another commercial break right now. We'll come back more with Coach Harrell getting set for Pirate football after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, north of the airport on Highway 11 in Greenville, your home for Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, and Suzuki motorcycles. The Panthers dropped their opener to the Raiders 34-30, spoiling the debut of new coach Matt Rule. Former Pirate Gardner Minshew was 19 of 20 for 173 yards and 3 TDs, leading the Jacksonville Jaguars to a 27-20 win over Phillip Rivers and the Colts. Washington beat Philadelphia 27-17 for Coach Ron Rivera's first win in the nation's capital as he battles cancer. Tom Brady lost his first game as Tampa Bay lost to New Orleans 34-23. Cam Newton was 15 of 19 for 155 yards as his Patriots beat the Dolphins 21-11. Former Pirate golfer Harold Varner III finished in a tie for 28th place at the Safeway Open. He pockets $41,000. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
First came the PCC location, then came the ECU location on Jarvis Street. Now introducing the newest store at 10th Street at the Food Line near Walmart. It's Angus Grill 3. 3 restaurants featuring all of your favorite burgers and more. They've got your classic Angus, steak burger, brisket burger, black and blue burger, sweet sriracha burger, jalapeno popper burger. You get the idea. Now 3 options for the best burger in town. Angus Grill at PCC, Angus Grill at ECU, and now Angus Grill at 10th Street in the Food Line Shopping Center. It's Greenville's best burger, times 3.
At Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-breaded, hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit pesttechofgreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
It's summertime, and it's no better time to drive away with the quality pre-owned car, truck from Greenville Auto World. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Are you planning that summer trip by car? We'll get you set for that trip with an oil change and 27-point inspection. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
This is Coach Blake Harrell, defense coordinator for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show. Blake Harrell is everywhere. He's in the promo, and he's on with us live. Coach, you're a star in Greenville.
Hey, just trying to catch up with Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick.
Got a long way to go to catch up with Coach K now. He's the original Coach K. Forget that guy in Durham. We got our own Coach K here in Greenville.
That's right.
That's exactly right. All right, so we got another question for you from the Facebook Live feed. You're a week and a couple of days away from the UCF game. This week, is it solely on UCF?
Yeah, so we just kind of finished up, obviously the third scrimmage on Friday night. Yesterday was kind of a corrections day for us, special teams, situations. Today we'll start, introduction to UCF, and it'll be all focused on UCF. So the next 12 days is all focused on them. The game plan for those guys, scout cards, scout teams, all that kind of stuff. So full steam ahead with UCF.
And UCF has a game this week with Georgia Tech, and that's got to be a disadvantage for East Carolina because they'll already have one game under their belt. Yeah,
you can kind of look at it two different directions, I guess. I think, from a playing standpoint, getting out and playing snaps, knocking some rust off. UCF will have a game under the belt. For us, we get to kind of look at them and see what they're doing. See are they exactly who they were last year, or are they different than they were last year? What kind of personnel they have out there? For them, they won't know exactly. Have we changed? What kind of schemes are we running? Or have we changed our schemes? Those type of things. So, I think there's advantages, disadvantages to both sides.
You talked a little bit about schemes, but talk about your defensive philosophy. What are some of the things, without obviously giving away anything, but what are some of the things that Pirate fans, although they won't see it in person for a while because of the COVID problems, but when they watch on TV in 2 weeks, what are some of the things they'll see out of a Blake Harrell defense?
It's the same things we just talked to our kids about what our culture is, what our identity is, and that's just playing fast and physical. 11 hats to the ball, and that's the big thing we emphasize. We focus on every day. We want to play high energy. See kids, having fun, enjoying playing defense at East Carolina, and that's not only just on game day, but that's on the practice field, that's in the meeting room. So we try to create an environment where they're having fun, they enjoy being around each other, and they enjoy coming into the building and coming to work. So that's part of the culture piece of it. The identity. We want to stop the run. We want to show you multiple fronts, multiple covers, multiple looks that you have to prepare for throughout the week. And it also allows our kids to, we can play with our chin out over our toes, as Coach Houston calls it, which means we can go play downhill, and we're going to go attack you. And we got to do that through multiple different ways. So I'm excited about how the kids have picked it up and bought into it, and look forward to, getting the game day and watching them go execute it.
So much of offense and defense is mental, but when you look at a defense, we've had defensive coordinators have come here through the years, and you hear some of them talk about, we don't want our players to think. We want them just to react, to know exactly, what they play free. I mean, is that the kind of philosophy you look at, just try to, clear their minds and just play free?
Well, I think that's probably, any defense or any offense, you don't want kids thinking. You just want them to go, defensively, especially react and go play. I mean, if you're thinking, then you're playing slow. But if you're, if you're reacting, you feel comfortable in the situation, you feel comfortable in the defense, then you can go play fast and at a high level. And that's certainly where we want to be and where we need to be to go win ball games.
How important in your defense is it to get pressure on the quarterback?
Well, I think number one, you got to stop the run, so you can that way it gives you a chance to dial up and maybe getting a little bit of this pass rush mentality and go put pressure on the quarterback and create chaos on him. And we've been telling our players when you get a chance to hit the quarterback, to sack the quarterback, and get hits on him, the whole team feels it. So that's very important. Create chaos for him. It's a long day for the offense, but it all starts with stopping the run. If you can't stop the run, whether you're playing UCF, Georgia State, whoever, then creating chaos for the quarterback becomes pretty difficult.
So much of defense is emotional. How do you plan on trying to create an emotional type atmosphere when you're going to have no fans at all in the stands?
Yeah, that's something. As you watch the games this past weekend, that was big. I mean,
yeah,
it seemed like the team that had the better energy, just better on the sidelines, and a little bit more hype on the sidelines, had the advantage of every game that you turn on the television, whether it's last week BYU Navy or if it's this past weekend with Charlotte App State or whoever. But that's something, like I said, we've tried to create that culture from day one with our defense and throughout our football team. And Coach Houston does a great job of just talking about it, selling it with our players. And, we got to have that come game day. If we don't have that energy, we'll be at a disadvantage. And if we have that energy, I think we'll have the upper hand and could really play a factor in the ball game.
You brought up the BYU Navy game, and BYU won that game. I believe it was 55-3. It was a big time blowout. And after the game, Ken Niumatalolo, the head coach for the midshipmen, he kind of came out and admitted that they weren't very physical at practice, and it showed. I mean, in that game, BYU would run the football, and it almost looked like a two-hand touch scrimmage type thing at times because they weren't physical at all, and they got blown out. Is that something you worry about, that you maybe haven't been as physical, or have you guys been really physical and trying to keep it as normal as you can?
No, if you know Coach Houston, if you've been around Coach Houston football teams for the years, he's always had physical football teams that they're going to go practice physical and they're going to go play physical, and that's certainly what we've been doing is practicing that way. We've had full contact scrimmages, full contact practices, been in full pads, shoulder pads, a whole the majority of the practices that we've been allowed to do so. So I don't think you'll see that out of our football team, and that's not been his MO, and he's always been at a physical football team. So hopefully that takes care of itself there.
Coach, you worked with Coach Houston at Lenoir-Rhyne and at the Citadel. Take us back in your history. When did you first meet up with Coach Houston, and give us kind of a history lesson of your relationship with the head coach at East Carolina?
Well, I had the privilege to work with him at both places, but I also knew him when I was as early as elementary school. He was a few years older than I was growing up. We're from the same hometown, and even when I was in middle school, Coach Houston was the big-time star on the basketball court and on the football field when I was in middle school.
He got all the girls, didn't he, Coach?
That's right. So everybody knows who Mike Houston was. But our relationship goes way back. Then when I first got into coaching high school football, Coach Houston was the head coach, T.C. Robertson. I had a chance to go visit, and just kind of you're always out there seeking new thoughts and just trying to learn from folks. And I went and visited him and just had a opportunity to do that. And it's been a really great relationship over the years.
And when he decided to make a change on his staff, I mean, how excited were you when you got the call and you got a chance to interview?
Well, I was really excited about the opportunity, just knowing how special a place East Carolina was, and knowing that everywhere Coach Houston's been, he's turned them into he's won ball games and championships, and just knowing, hey, there's another opportunity for that. So I was really excited about it for our family, and just a chance to be here at East Carolina.
And you've got 3 daughters. And, defensive coordinator, that's a tough job, but you got 3 daughters. That's even harder, isn't it?
Well,
it will be.
Yeah, my wife has the toughest job. She has to take control of those 3 girls at home. So they're, I guess, 2, 4, and 8 now. The 2-year-old's getting ready to turn 3, but they are certainly a handful and wide open. And some folks say right now is the easy time. Wait till they get about teenage years.
That's what I'm thinking.
If that's the case, I'm not looking forward to those kids.
Oh man, just get you a shotgun, you'll be fine. Just keep it near you, and you'll be ready. You'll take care of any of those boys that come snooping around the Harrell household. Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator at East Carolina, our guest on this Monday. We'll take another commercial break. We'll come back with more. If you have a question, comment, our Facebook Live is cranked up. You can jot it down. I'll get it on the air for you. Blake Harrell, our guest, back with more on this Monday after this.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And a drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
The Frells family lives on a lush piece of land called greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at qualityequip.com.
What's the big deal? Where can you get pizza, bread twists, specialty chicken, and more for just $5.99 each?
Is it at Domino's?
He hands off hand-tossed pizza and a marble cookie brownie. He's going!
There's a lot of variety on the radio and at Domino's too, where you can
Mix and match 2 or more. $5.99 each at Domino's.
2-item minimum. Pan pizza, bone-in wings, and bread bowls will be extra. Ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
White Claw Hard Seltzer. Discover a new wave of refreshment. Crafted using seltzer water, 5% alcohol, and a hint of fruit. Available in 5 fruit flavors, 2 grams of carbs, gluten-free, and 100 calories. Find it at whiteclaw.com. White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with natural flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, 2019 Chicago. Visit whiteclaw.com for full nutritional information.
This is former ECU baseball player and mayor of Greenville, PJ Connolly, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator, inside linebacker coach for head coach Mike Houston at East Carolina. Our guest, the Pirates, of course, getting set to take on UCF in a little over a week and a half, and they're spending this week and next week only on the nights as far as practice goes. We've got our Facebook Live cranked up. If you've got a question or comment, we'll be glad to get it on. Somebody wrote in, and Coach, they want to know something about Blake Harrell that maybe the fans don't know. So what's something that you can share with us that you know, but the fans don't know?
Not a whole lot. I mean, when I was in college, I didn't play college football. Just too slow, too short, not athletic enough, all that. However, I did start coaching right away at my high school. Did that for a couple of years, and then was a student assistant there at Western Carolina. But during that time, obviously I had to work and make a little money on the side just to pay my car payment, pay bills, those type of things. So I had my own lawn business. So I had about 30 different lawn accounts, landscape accounts that I would go mow the grass, do a little weed eating on the weekends and during the week, and make a little extra cash that way. So that was kind of the way I was kind of raised up. Is, hey, you better always have a job, always doing something. That was kind of how I worked my way through college.
It's funny you say that, because the older I get, the one thing I really enjoy is mowing the grass. And as a kid, I hated it, would complain about it. And as a kid, would run around the neighborhood and mow grass and make a little bit of side money that way. But for some reason, it's just relaxing to get out there and do some of that. Probably not relaxing when you have 30 accounts and you got to get it all done and you're trying to start a family and that kind of thing. But it's something that I truly enjoy. All right, let's go through the defense and drop some names for us, if you will, because fans, week and a half or so will be ready to watch the ECU UCF game. Take us through the defensive line first and drop some names. Who are you looking for? I know the depth chart is not for certain yet, but who are some of the guys we'll see coming up against UCF?
We kind of spoke about some of them earlier, but, I think Chris Willis and Demir Faison on the edges, I think those are 2 guys that have had really good camps. There's a couple of guys behind them, whether it's Manny Hickman, Jason Romero, Dre Terry, some backup guys that also see some time there. But excited about our edges, excited about Demir, just things he's doing on the line of scrimmage. Is also dropping in the coverage and playing more of an outside backer type for us, more in our odd front. Interiorly, you've got your older guys in there, so to speak, whether it's Hosey or D'Angelo McKinney. Both those guys are, obviously older kids that have gave us some, quality snaps in there through camp and play both positions. So, some of the flexibility we've had with this camp and just some of the issues going on is you play guys that both nose and tackle. So both those guys have been able to do that. We spoke about one of the younger guys, Elijah Morris, who's really impressed. And then one of the guys, back from last year, Rick DeBrew, he's been really impressive in some of the things we've been able to do, and just look for a big year out of him. Then with Xavier McGyver, Travion Freshwater, some of the younger kids that I expect to see, out there against UCF running around and making plays for. So that's kind of the front four guys there, and just some expectations and who's impressed up front. Kind of in the middle, at the linebackers, some older kids, a little bit more experience there on the linebacker level with Bruce Bivens and Xavier Smith. Both have been really impressive. Bruce Bivens, we joke around, say he might be faster than anybody on the football team in a 10-yard box. Really explosive and has a really good trigger to him. Xavier's, probably benefited from playing on both sides of the ball. 2 years ago he was a tight end. Last year had some starts at linebacker, and just a really heady kid that I think the game is coming to him now, and he understands exactly the defense, where he fits, why he fits, and what offenses are trying to do to us and how they're trying to attack us. Miles Berry and Aaron Ramseur give you some older guys there as options, and Taylor Jackson is a freshman that has impressed there. So he's been doing a really nice job, and I expect to see him, not only on the defense side of the ball, but in some special team situations there. And then to the field, our Sam backer, we moved Jairo Wilson there, who was safety for us last year. Moved into Sam backer, and just his length and some things he gives you the options to do out wide has been really good. And you got some younger guys behind him, whether it's going to be Alex Angus or Tegan Wilk. Have both been playing out there, and then a guy that's kind of a utility guy for us right now. If we're lining up today, he may start at field safety as Warren Saba, but he's played Sam, he's played the boundary safety, he's played the field safety, so he's had a good camp, learned a lot of spots, and been a guy we can rely on. The other safety positions, whether it's Tank Robinson, a guy that's been around for years, or some of the new guys, Sean Dorso or Robert Kennedy, Jawan Powell has had some really good snaps. And then one of the freshmen that's been impressive back there is David Laney. So feel good that, we got some guys that maybe the fans don't know a lot about, but I think by the end of the year they will, and they're young guys that's going to be around for a long time.
Got a question.
We talked about.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
I was just going to wrap it up with corners. Jaquan McMillan we spoke about. He's had a good solid camp. Malik Fleming has, been around the ball a ton. And then the other corners out there, DeMel Hickman, Nolan Johnson, had solid camps. And then one of the freshmen out there has been impressive is Sean Tucker.
All right, you touched on it a little bit, but somebody has just sent us one in through Facebook. Want to know about some of the younger defensive linemen, and if they're the true freshmen, any of those guys got a chance to play or be in parts of the rotation, that kind of thing.
What's funny about that is you may look up and next week or 3 weeks down the road, every kid will be in rotation because it's just how things could change so fast. But whether it's J.B. McCray or Kareem Simpson or Dante Johnson or Sue Radware, they all have a chance. And they all have played against our ones, so they've played valuable snaps. It's not like they've always, been on the scout team all fall camp going against the threes. No, they've had some meaningful snaps going against the ones, and this past Saturday, it turned out that way. So Coach Tess is rotating those guys against our 1-0 linemen and with our one defense. So they're prepared for that, and at any time that could certainly happen.
What's really different about the COVID-19 situation is the fact that you guys have guys out right now in quarantine because of contact tracing, but you don't make the names public, and we certainly don't make them public if we do hear somebody, but because it's a private health matter. But it has a lot to do with how you prepare your team and who gets the reps and that kind of thing, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I mean, you want to make sure your 2s and 3s get as many reps as your 1s, because all of a sudden they could become your 1s pretty quick. And you got to prepare that way. As I said earlier, depth this year is probably as more important than it ever has been.
When you look at all of the testing, has it been okay on your end, or is it because Coach Houston, he's always talking about that Q-tip and touching his brain, and it's got to be. And you guys are testing even more now, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize something could go that far up your nose.
I didn't think so either.
It's definitely not enjoyable, and you try to manage it for the 30 seconds or so it's up your nose and just kind of roll with it. But it's something certainly every week you don't look forward to. But it's kind of became, at first it was a little bit of an anxiety. You knew that test coming up, almost like any test you have coming up, you have some anxiety about, and just something creeps in your head. Hey, this is not going. I feel this way this week. I don't feel my best, and then all of a sudden you get that email, that the word back that hey, you're good to go, you're negative, and so you feel a lot better. But now it's becoming kind of such a routine that you're getting tested so often that you feel really good about where you're at. You feel good about the choices that your football team's making and the people around you. So we all got to protect each other every day with the decisions we are making. So it's been a good thing.
And the complicated thing is some guys test positive and have no symptoms whatsoever, and then some guys never, they've been around somebody, but they never develop anything, but they still have to sit out so long. I mean, how you guys can put a football team together with all these factors going on? It's almost a miracle.
Yeah, it certainly it catches you off guard if a kid doesn't have is asymptomatic and doesn't really get out of his daily routine. All of a sudden, if his test comes back positive, it's just like, man, so how this happened? Then all of a sudden you get the contact tracing. You got to step through and make sure. So that's why, we tell our players, hey, you got to treat everybody like they have the COVID, wearing your mask, social distance, and just treat it that way. That way you're always on the safe side, and that way you'll always come back negative, or somebody that you were around was positive. At least you had your social distance, you had your mask on. So just going through following all the protocols and making sure we stay on the safe side.
On game day, will you be upstairs or will you be on the field?
I'll be on the field.
Okay.
That's kind of where I've been the last couple of years. And, we'll have some couple coaches up top feel really good about the feedback we've been getting from those guys in scrimmage and just being down on the bottom of the field. So can communicate with their players, make adjustments there, and feel really good about that. And it also allows you to kind of get the call in a little bit quicker. I didn't have to go through as many lines of communication there, and just being able to see it firsthand there. So excited about that.
And the communication is so critical from upstairs to you downstairs to try to get the plays called in. Take us through what goes on. First down play for the offense, and they gain 3 yards. So now it's 2nd and 7. Take us through what you guys are looking at and how you're calling the defense.
Yeah, defensively, you're looking at numerous things. And we'll just take UCF for instance. The first thing you look at is how fast are they going? Are they going their warp speed where you better just get a call in and make sure we get lined up? Obviously the down and distance, you got somebody calling that out. You got somebody calling out the personnel, the formation, right hash, left hash, and then you also got guys looking for, hey, this guy may need a sub, or this guy may need a sub, or did UCF sub so we can sub. So you're looking at various things go into each play call, various things go into the communication between each play, and at the same time, you can't have too much chatter because then you can't get the call in. So you got to make sure they're strategic about what's being said on the headset, the line of communication there, and then it's effective at the same time.
And on a 2nd and 7 play, as you're trying to develop it, would you substitute there? Would that be an instance where you would send some defensive backs in, or is that considered a passing down 2nd and 7?
It depends on who you're playing that week. Obviously UCF is going to go so fast; they're not going to allow you the opportunity to sub. But certain game plans, 2nd and 7 could be very possibly be a pass situation. And some teams may, if you're playing Navy 2nd and 7, they're right on schedule and going to run football again.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
They're probably going to run football on 2nd and 10 as well. So it just depends on the opponent that week. And UCF, you're probably looking at them running the football. They're even though they got some really good passing stats, I think they are a running football team first.
As far as the philosophy goes, percentage-wise, how much will this Pirate defense blitz? If you say, hey, how much are we going to pressure, move around? I would say a lot.
80% of the time we're going to move at least one body around. Whether you're talking about bringing through 5-6-man pressure, you're talking maybe half of that. Maybe 30-40% of the time we may bring some pressure. But if you're talking about just a simple stunt, you may be 75-80% of the time. Is kind of what you can look at there.
So almost every play, you're going to move somebody somewhere.
Somewhere, somehow, at some point. So.
And the more
just gives us that just gives our kids, and our defense the best advantage to get a stop and just create some confusion for the offense and gives us the controller, so to speak.
And the more complex that you can make it on the offense, and really with coverages and with stunts on the line, and with, do you have a package where people on the line would drop back in the pass coverage?
Yeah, we'll do some different things. We call that our exotics. We'll bring out some exotics from time to time and week to week. We may show 7 up, 6 up, and when I say 7 up, I mean 7 men on line scrimmage or 6 men on line scrimmage, and we could possibly bring them, we could possibly drop them. So, and that's just part of our packages, whether it's a second down package or a third down package. And we get the offense in different looks, and those are looks that you don't like to take the same look in every week. You want to show something for UCF, and then something different for Georgia State, and then something different for Game 3, whatever that may be. So, and then some games you may be able to get that package in on second down. Some weeks it may be third down that you can only get it in. And UCF case, it may be, hey, you're going to have a tough time getting it in because they're going to go so fast. So you got to be strategic about those packages, about our exotics, and when to use them, and what you want to get out of them as well.
Do you have a?
That's also.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's also a situation where you talk about your depth, where you're getting guys in, maybe a Jason Romero who's a really good pass rusher, and that's a situation you get him in the ball game, or you can get an extra DB in the ball game. So, thankfully, we have some depth that we can do those things.
Are you one of those that likes to bring the house every once in a while?
I think you have to every once in a while, just so the OC and the quarterback know that, hey, you're going to come bring it sometimes, and I think sometimes there's a place to drop 8, 9 guys. So I think you got to mix it up, and you can't be predictable, and you got to make the look. Pre-snap, you got to make it all look the same, and post-snap, then that's when you bring it or drop it.
They say you live by the blitz and you die by the blitz. Is that right?
Hopefully we just live by it all season.
That's exactly right. All right, Blake Harrell, our guest today. We're going to take one more commercial break, then we'll come back. We'll wrap up with Coach Harrell and get him out of here. This is the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday. Back with more after this.
Oktoberfest is coming to Winterville this Saturday, September 19th. Naughty Dog Brewing Company and Local Oak Brewing Company are teaming up for a fun day of cold beer, food trucks, costume contests, Oktoberfest games like Hammerschlagen, a mug relay, and more. The fun starts at noon and goes until 11 p.m. with plenty of room indoors and outdoors for everyone. Both Naughty Dog and Local Oak will be releasing 2 new beers each that day. Oktoberfest this Saturday, noon to 11 p.m. at Naughty Dog and Local Oak, Winterville.
Summertime is here with hot temperatures, thunderstorms, and hurricanes. It's easy to recognize pests invading your home, but a lot of people forget about moisture destroying your home's crawl space. Pest Tech is celebrating its 20th year protecting your homes using dehumidifiers, professional-grade liners, and most importantly, our licensed and highly trained technicians. Visit PestTechGreenville.com for a free estimate on moisture control and the other silent destroyer, termites. Trust your home to the best. Pest Tech of Greenville, your East Coast exterminating professionals.
Ian Eagle here from Westwood One with a preview of the NFL Week 1 Monday night doubleheader. Up first, Ross Tucker and I will be in New York as second-year quarterback Daniel Jones of the Giants hosts Ben Roethlisberger in his post-injury return with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then, after our game, Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner will be in Denver for the Broncos and the Titans. Kurt, give us a preview of that one.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how Tennessee bounces back from that AFC Championship loss. Ryan Tannehill, great year last year. Can he put that together a second year and show that he is a franchise guy in the NFL? And on the other side, Drew Lock, what kind of strides does he make in year 2? Unfortunately, they'll be doing it without Von Miller.
Thank you, Kurt. Join us for Week 1 doubleheader action on Monday Night Football.
Remember to listen to Westwood One's coverage of the NFL all season long, right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference, like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly. Get more miles on the road with O'Reilly Auto Parts. A clean fuel system means better gas mileage for your car. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $8. Plus, earn double O Rewards points. For a clean, lubricated, more fuel-efficient system, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick, offense coordinator for ECU football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to the Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday as we wrap things up with Blake Harrell, defensive coordinator, inside linebacker coach at East Carolina. You heard Donnie Kirkpatrick on the promo coming back to our show. One of those meetings like after a scrimmage, Coach, when you're in there with your defensive coaches and Coach Kirkpatrick's in there with offensive coaches, and there's some jawing during the scrimmage type thing. But how are those meetings afterwards when you get Coach Houston in there and everything?
Yeah, coaches don't even really get into that too much. I'd say we're more looking at the film, looking more at the execution piece, and did our kids play hard? Did they play physical, and did they execute the defense or the offense and the techniques? And that's kind of what we focused on. The kids, they like to get competitive and maybe talk a little bit back and forth. Once the coaches get back into the meeting room, it's all about the execution piece and the effort piece, and making sure we evaluate properly and make sure we find ways to get better and make us the best football team possible.
Is it time to play a team with a different color uniform on?
There is no doubt. It's been the longest preseason ever. Maybe not by practice days, but definitely by this day's period. And no one's more excited about that than me. Just ready to see a different opponent.
When you had a chance with watching games on TV, I mean, that to me brought it all back to, hey, we are going to have a season. For a while there, I wasn't sure. Were you?
Yeah, well, it's you wake up every morning and something changes from morning to afternoon or day to day about what you're hearing and what's going on across the country, and you're thinking, is this thing really going to happen? And then until you really see it on TV and you see games being played and everything going down, it's like, hey, we're going to go play. We're going to go play. And we've had that mindset the whole time. Our players have had that mindset and done a great job preparing, from the get-go. And now that you see other games on TV, I think it becomes even more a reality that, hey, we're going to go play and line up and be in Dowdy-Pickens Stadium next week. So we're excited about it.
Let's have a scouting report on UCF before we let you go. Now, you talked about their warp speed type offense, but who are some of the personnel that you're really concerned about you've seen on film?
The scouting report is fast. That's the tempo is fast. The running backs are fast, and the receivers are fast. But the personnel, they got a lot of the same guys. They've had back. I think 8 out of the 11 starters are truly back, and 2 of the other guys that didn't, started different times last year. The quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, was a freshman last year. He'll be a year older this year, doing a great job running the offense. He's still there. At receivers, they probably lost their top guy. That was a draft pick, but they got some really good ones out there with Trey Nixon at the wideout. Marlon Williams is another one out there that's pretty impressive. Otis Anderson in jersey number 2, you'll see him line up in the backfield at wideout. We call him kind of the utility do-all guy. He's really special. And then a pair of running backs that are really good. They lost their top running back. I think he's with the Eagles now. But they got number 30, Greg McCray, back there, and number 24, Ben Thompson, who are both very impressive. So they got a bunch of weapons. And up front, I think they got 4 out of the 5 starters back, so they certainly create some challenges and got a lot of offensive weapons back. And so they're right on cue, and again, fast, and fast. The tempo is fast. They got some fast players, and they like to go at you fast. So we've certainly got our work cut out for us, and certainly got a reason that we need to go attack practice with some urgency, and be on top of our game with our preparations.
Will you guys watch the Georgia Tech game as a staff this weekend?
Live, we were just talking about that this morning. Just are we going to get together live and watch it? I don't know. Some of us like to maybe spend a little time as we can, a little bit of time we get with our families.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly, as soon as the game's over, that game goes right into the computer system. We get it broke down and get it out and start putting it into our breakdowns and kind of go through it 1,000 different ways and 1,000 different times and see how many different ways we can decipher it and break it down and see if it matches up with exactly what they were doing last season. I know they got a new OC entitled, whether how much influence he has on the offense, or they're still doing what they did last year. Is it still kind of the head coach maybe calling the offense? So that's kind of a reason you like to have in a game before you play them, the Georgia Tech game, and see exactly who they are and if they're still the same beast they were last year.
How will you know that your defense is obviously it's easy to look at, but even if you're giving up some yards, how will you know if your defense is adjusting well to that speed for UCF?
The big thing is just can you look out on the grass and see us lined up and see us fundamentally where we're supposed to be pre-snap and post-snap. Are we executing the defense that's called? A lot of times, and you see it all the time. Every time you turn on the tape. Regardless of who they're playing, you see defenses not aligned properly and then just not executing the defense. And we always say, misalignments, misassignments will get you beat. Well, every time they have a big play, you see a defense that's misaligned, or you see a defense that busts an assignment. And that's our priority goal number one, is make sure we're aligned properly. And then number two is make sure we communicate our assignments, each individual. So, if we can do that, next, on the 26th, then that's a big step in the right direction.
When will the butterflies start getting your way as far as the game goes?
I think they've already began. I think once you realize, hey, you no longer have to defend Holton Ahlers, which is a relief in itself, and now you're turning your attention to UCF. This thing's getting real. So, they're already started, and I'm sure they'll grow, but usually go away once our kids start making plays, and we have confidence in our players that they're going to go out and play with great effort and great energy. So that helps with those butterflies.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. I know you're really, really busy. I know you guys have practice this afternoon, but we certainly appreciate you being on with us for the hour. It was most entertaining, and we can't wait to see that Pirate defense coming up against UCF.
Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you for your time.
We appreciate you. Blake Harrell, the defensive coordinator, inside linebacker coach, joining us for our show. And that is our show for this Monday. I want to thank Coach Harrell for being on with us, and we'll see you back here next week on the Brian Bailey Show. We'll be that much closer to football for the Pirates, won't we?
This has been the Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of the Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is